In 2024, I finally read a series of Unfortunate Events books, and I feel like a crazy person. Like, I feel like a conspiracy theorist because now I'm watching this. I watched the movie with Jim Carrey. I am currently rewatching a series of Unfortunate Events, the Netflix series, which I did watch back in the day, but lucky for me, I have a bad memory, so it didn't really affect my watching experience at all. I feel like I'm a crazy person because I feel like there's so much, and it's probably the point of the books, but I'm new to this whole series. Like, I knew of it, but I'm just new to absorbing all of the material. That Lemony Snicket is saying a lot of things about society through this book, and I just kind of wanted to kind of rattle off my list here that I was writing of things that like spoke to me and stuff that could be said about this book. Is this making any sense? Number one, adults always failing the children, not being believed, continuously, being put in bad situations by who were supposed to be their caretakers, even if some of them were nice to them at some point. Um, this discomfort and adults not wanting to acknowledge it. Even when you see, oh my god, is his name Hector? I forgot his name already, if that's not it. The guy from the Vile Village who could never have the courage to speak up because he was so scared, even if he did believe that they needed to make changes, the Baudelaires were innocent. He just could never have the courage to do that, the one who took the Quagmires on the hot air balloon. Okay, these kids are going through so much fucking trauma. They're living in survival mode. Holy fucking shit. There's no guaranteed happy ending. Lemony Snicket warns you about that. The entire book sobbed at the end, by the way. The just lack of care of children, but we knew that. They're forced to grow up while still trying to understand the world. I mean, once again, living life in survival mode, trying to make sense of so much. This idea of good and bad, and I think it's so interesting because good and bad is a theme that lives throughout religion, that lives throughout a lot of the things. I'm sure, like, religion also, the good and bad in religion also inspired a lot of things. I would just rewatch Pinocchio's Christmas, and obviously Pinocchio, they're talking about good and bad, and he's bad if he lies, so his nose grows, right? This isn't something that is spoken about in so many other things. So, like, is there just a good or bad, or is there good people who do bad things and bad people who have also done good things? That whole concept. Standing up to the systems and the broken systems, the grief of losing people, and the grief of so much. Like, the Baudelaires carry so much grief, not just of all the people they've lost in their life, but how they have been failed so many times, how they have lost this innocence of childhood. I mean, so many fucking things. Grief lives in many different ways, shapes, or forms, and the Baudelaires are filling them all. Finding glimmers in a depressing world. Am I gonna cry? I love this series. Well, as much as you can love a depressing series. The importance of education and exploration. We see a lot in the series how they make a note like, well, you only feel this way because you read things, right? And, although reading things makes people smarter, what's the dealio with that? Count Olaf is a dummy. But also reading things can make people smart evil people, who knows. The last book on the island with Ishmael and how he didn't want to expose people to bad things, and how, the Baudelaire's parents didn't want them to know about the terrible things of the world yet, obviously, until they got thrusted in it because their parents died in a fire, right? Like, this idea of Ishmael keeping all the bad things away because he thought, like, that would disrupt the, I can't think of the word I'm looking for. The peace, if you want to call it that, of, it's not the right word, someone throw it in the comments if you have it, of the island. Like, it takes a village to raise a child, like, and how even that was bad because they were very, like, strict with their rule. This is all over. This is a jarbled thought process. I just made, like, a random list of things as I recently finished the books coming into the new year, and I'm obviously catching up with all the TV stuff. But the kids were doing all the chores for them at the Vile Village. This idea of mom mentality, the Hemlock Hospital songs. Oh my gosh, where I don't know if they said this in the book or because I'm watching the series right now on Netflix, where they said, like, how do songs help? Like, it's kind of the idea of, like, they send, like, prayers, and obviously prayers don't do shit. Respectfully, they don't. there are just so many things to pick at, and I'm not even like, this is just a jarble. I have just jarbled out a bunch of things at you, but like, and I'm reading them off my iPad for reference. If you're wondering why I'm looking away, because I can't possibly remember that all off the top of my head. But like, I feel like an insane person reading and watching Series of Unfortunate Events, because it's just like, it says so many things within the series, and it's so fucking interesting. And I just feel like the point can be missed by a lot of people. Like, I will say this as someone who watched the series, the Netflix series, when it had aired on Netflix. Like, I was very passively watching it. Like, I was, I wasn't just like watching it and doing something else. I was actually watching it, but I didn't take any of that because I just wasn't reading into it like I am now. I just feel like, and if you stuck around through all my jarble, I do applaud you. Like, reading it now, in the time we're in now, is so telling. I want to dive into more about Series of Unfortunate Events, so I want to know, like, the problematic bits of it. I want to hear all the different thoughts and, conspiracies. I don't know if you want to call it conspiracy, what people think happened. And, this idea of, there is not necessarily a happy ending, or you don't know what that will look like if it does happen. Because, like, the kids, like, got their peaceful serenity, right? Peaceful serenity as in they were taking care of each other and they were just children, and then they were taking care of Beatrice. Like, at the end of the series, Violet's, like, still 16. Like, I'm stressed. I need to know everything about Series of Unfortunate Events. I feel like it's really spoken to me. I think, to wrap it up here, because I've been jarbling a lot of things for like 7 minutes now. It is so fucking interesting, the takes that you can decipher from a series of unfortunate events. And just the overall theme to me is how people don't want to live in the discomfort. And I was like, this is speaking to me. I don't know who else loves a series of unfortunate events and can just tell me facts in the comments. I just want to know everything. And if you've enjoyed the series, reread it now and tell me if it is, like, speaking to you with, like, things that are happening now. Like, I feel like, as a kid, and obviously even just a few years ago when the Netflix series ended, like, watching that then, like, I wasn't thinking about any of this. But, like, now it is, like, speaking to me. It's clicking with me. It's clicking with me in a way that it just never could have before. Okay? And I'm reading it at 29.